Surviving Reality contains explicit content full of snark and sarcasm that may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Surviving Reality.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly, and this is Welcome to Plathville Season 7, Episode 7, The Houseguests.
This would be in reference to Lydia and Zac being the house guests. Well, Zac's a house guest in a couple different houses in this episode. Who knew?
He's making his way around the Plath family, huh?
I guess so. Yeah, it's about time.
That's why Ethan's so worried.
Yeah, he is assuming that he's going to try and spend the night at his house next, and that terrifies him.
No Mariah in this episode.
It's been kind of a nice little breath of fresh air.
Took off to Montana, and I guess is never to be heard from again.
Just disappeared. Well, she'll be back for the wedding, though, so we do know that. I'm thinking maybe they just didn't want to send a camera crew to Montana. How interesting would it be to watch Mariah kind of unpack in this rental in Montana?
I guarantee she did nothing.
And not do anything.
This whole time period that she's gone, she did not organize her life whatsoever.
Are there certain things that are legal in Montana?
That aren't in Georgia?
That aren't in Georgia?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think she's got access to prescription drugs at this point. I don't know if she needs to visit the street doctor.
I'm telling you, that one scene of her where she was getting loaded up on wine before the proposal, and her eyes were pupil dilated, for sure.
Yeah, she's not well. How come Zac didn't move into her old room? Barry's keeping it warm for her?
Ew, gross. No, Isaac upgraded. That was the secret.
Oh, he moved into... Didn't he move into Lydia's room?
Oh, I thought he said that he moved into Mariah's room.
Maybe. I guess that would make sense.
Because that's the bigger room. But then it's probably all chewed up from blackjack and stuff. There's probably all sorts of issues that we have
I
going
wasn't
on.
expect you to blame the dog for that.
No? Oh, chewed
No.
up because of Mariah in general? Perhaps.
Well, let's get into it because the opening scene, Lydia and Zac have made their way from Colorado, which I guess we can be glad that we were saved from having to watch that road trip footage.
It was just a lot of giggling. The usual stuff.
Well, and I guess a lot of Lydia cutting Zac off as he's trying to talk.
They like to finish each other's sandwiches.
She's getting really annoying with that because I've also seen interviews that they've done together. So not on this show, more recent instances, where he has to address the fact that she is finishing his sentences for him and it's bothering him.
I mean, it would be annoying. And then to call this out and then to have it continue to take place is very frustrating.
Do you think maybe that could connect back to some trauma that Lydia has? Because she's so worried about what she says, like worrying about other people's emotions and having to pick your words carefully. You know, the type of trauma that you have when you grow up with a narcissist, that maybe she's trying to cut him off before he says something so that she can ensure whatever is said is palatable.
She's controlling the narrative. Is that what you're implying, Carly?
Sure, but because she's worried about monitoring other people's emotions around her.
That, and yeah, I mean, I think it is a way that they kind of tout. I'm trying to think if Zac talks over her, though, because they both get very excited and then they want to tell the story. Most of the stuff that I've heard of them talking has been them telling their love story, though. As we said, the love story that just takes forever to tell. They keep trying, though, in multiple different podcast interviews, on Instagram stories.
On the show.
On the show now,
all the places.
Too, everywhere.
Now YouTube. They have their own YouTube channel.
Oh, the YouTube channel. Yeah. So they're kicking that off, too.
They have a video up that is about their first place together. It's a little tour of their apartment, a little explanation of why they chose to move to Tallahassee. And I thought it was interesting that Amber crashes there a couple of nights a week because of the fact that she not lives.
Well, she does when she lives there when she crashes
I
there.
guess it depends where Mama Plath is living at this point in time.
Depends on where Mama Plath is crashing.
Oh, she's back with KK Ken.
Right.
A lot of updates.
Big news.
But I guess Amber stopped going to school.
Who hasn't at this point in this family?
So this is Isaac's old room where he used to have the flight simulator.
He used to have the flight simulator. Now he's carrying up all of Zac's gay shirts on his gay hangers. And then there's no place to hang all of these shirts. You have a lot of hangers and no clothes racks. No.
Oh, yeah, this isn't a proper room. It's not a legal bedroom.
Yeah, I don't think you can bill it as, there's not a closet space. Uh-oh. Now the jokes are just writing themselves.
They were trying to shove him back inside a closet. Well, there is no closet.
There is no closet.
This room, was a closet, a storage room, and then it was converted into another bedroom. Are they trying to keep him up as far away from the rest of the family as possible?
They couldn't squeeze him into Lydia's prayer closet?
She misses that thing. Also in the house tour, you get to see the items that she took from the closet.
Oh, on
her
their
writings
YouTube.
And
oh God.
Yeah,
okay.
her
prayers
and writings and vision board. Not really. She wouldn't call it a vision board. That's a little too witchy.
No, yeah.
But there were some things that she felt really needed to travel with her.
There were all the Post-it notes in their house in Tallahassee, too, that we saw. Her and her roommate, Mariah. Post-it notes everywhere.
I didn't see any in the new place, so maybe that was a roommate thing.
I feel like that's something that Lydia can get behind, though. She can definitely get on board with that. Well, what sort of odd couple arrangement do we have here where it's Isaac, Barry, and Zac living in the house in Cairo now? So not on the farm. This is like the Plath family house, I think is what they're billing this one as.
They have all these Airbnbs. They couldn't have Zac stay in another place.
Well, would that be weirder to just have him stay in his own place in Cairo? I guess that would be more awkward than him crashing at the Plath family house.
No, there's nothing more awkward than waking up and walking downstairs and Barry Plath in his bathrobe making you eggs.
You think Barry Plath wears a bathrobe?
You don't think he observes modesty rules?
I think he's wandering around like Ozzy Osbourne in his underpants. And you just turn a corner and it's
just
like
buzzed on kombucha.
Yeah, slightly buzzed with Mariah's Strawberry Fest friend in tow.
That's why I thought maybe Barry would want some privacy in that place.
Yeah, he's trying to hook up. What are we talking about? He's trying to get that chubby bunny going. But no, there's no time for chubby bunny.
But he's moving in because the hope is that he's going to be able to get to know some of the family members better. I guess Isaac in particular. I think he's identified him as the brother that he thinks he can make the most progress with. Since Micah's so far away, and nobody really wants to talk to Micah anyway right now because of Veronica. Ethan hates him. That's been made very clear. So maybe he thinks Isaac is the lowest hanging fruit.
Well, and Barry is on board with Zac.
Oh, Barry loves Zac.
Yeah, Barry is totally into this. So this setup is like a dream scenario for him, too. This is like really, really great. So yeah, we need to spend as much time together as possible.
I don't think this is going to bring Isaac and Zac together, do you?
No, it didn't seem like Isaac had any interest in spending additional time because it was like, I'm going to let you get settled in, and then just like left the space.
I mean, his days are pretty full between airplanes. Does he still fly planes?
I don't know. It doesn't seem like that's been part of the storyline lately.
No, he really abandoned them. He's too busy like on the thresher at the farm.
Smoking cigarettes. She always smoked after.
Damn, he always smoked after.
The thresher.
Doing whatever he does with Kaylin.
Take you for a ride on my big green tractor.
He ain't got time to get to know Zac. He's not interested in that.
Well, that's okay because Zac and Lydia, they're pretty booked up too. They're going to Boca tomorrow. They heard such rave reviews from Ethan and Amber about their stay with Micah and Veronica, and they were
very
like,
hospitable.
You know
hospitable?
What? Hostile. Very hospital. Because we're getting pretty close here. But they heard rave reviews. They got to experience it for themselves firsthand.
Hostile hostel.
There you go.
That's kind of what it is.
Hostile.
Man, Zac did not want to go on this trip. And I don't think it's because he doesn't want to hang out with Micah and Veronica. It's because he doesn't want to spend more time with Lydia after having been in the car with her for a few days.
Yeah, he was dreading. We haven't had much downtime. We need time to breathe, I think was what he kept saying. That was the phrase he kept coming back to.
He wanted a break from her. That's why he was like, look, I'll hang out with Isaac.
He's quiet. He doesn't talk. He lets me talk. I get to be the talker.
It's a welcome change of pace.
Oh my God. But yeah, they're going to have to drive down to Tallahassee. They're going to have to go, or no, they're going to drive all the way to Boca. So yeah.
That's a long drive.
It's on the other side of Florida.
But first, Veronica and Micah are going to therapy.
Now this...
I was not prepared for this.
Yeah, this was a season left on the cutting room floor of couples therapy on Showtime.
I was waiting for Dr. Orna to show up and just make judgmental faces. Okay, we have to just address right off the bat, Veronica. Like, what is happening in this therapy session? Because she seems not even her normal self, and her normal self going to therapy would already be problematic.
Yeah, she's ramped up. She's activated already in this session. And this poor therapist is tired. She is at her wit's end.
Do you agree that it seemed like this is Veronica's therapist and that they're doing couples therapy now, but with her therapist?
It seems like that because it's the instruction that's being given, or like we've talked about this, like more of the history seems to be between the therapist and Veronica specifically.
Yeah, which makes me question, like, I don't think that's really the way you're supposed to do that.
Well, I mean, I guess you could.
Micah should have his own therapist too.
He should be doing individual therapy. If you're in couples therapy, you should be doing individual therapy too. Maybe not with the same therapist though. So like, yeah, because that could cause a bit of a bias as far as the circumstances.
Let me tell you, this therapist does not have a bias towards Veronica. No, that's for sure.
She does not agree with the way that Veronica seems to be carrying herself here. Because, yeah, it's also textbook, though, because then that's what her therapist is trying to remind her, like, hey, it seems like you're speaking a lot out of anger, out of fear, out of a hurt place that you're coming from right now that is not helping anything. And then Veronica's even doubling down on that, where she's like, well, it makes me feel better. I don't think it does in the long run, because then eventually you're going to have regret about the stuff that you're saying. So in the moment, it might feel good to say that and get your dig and your shot and, you know, have that be off your chest in this sort of way. But eventually it's going to come around where hopefully you're going to feel bad about that, because it seemed like that was something that she'd been addressing individually.
Yeah, I don't know if she is going to feel bad about it, because my interpretation of what was going on was as soon as Micah does something that she thinks is meant to hurt her, her response is to verbally attack him to try to hurt him in an equal or greater way.
Yeah, it seems to be a reciprocity to the disrespect that's going on. And then that's what Veronica's saying, I'm allowed to hurt him because he's hurt me so many times through these different actions, whether it be the infidelity, whether it be, you know, any sorts of other disappointments that have kind of come up in the relationship here. That's why I am validated in dumping on him whenever I can, or going after his family to upset him too.
She thinks it's fair game at that point, right?
And she's trying to go for the throat.
She's trying to do that on purpose.
Yes.
That's very clear. So the thing that upset her before they got there today is that as they were in the car driving to therapy, she sees something on her phone and says something to Micah about Teegan having an OF page. We cannot say what that is. So if you don't know what that means,
watch the episode. It was in there. They said it.
It's a form of adult entertainment, if you will. Now, this is what we speculated about with Mary Payne last week, was that that's what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, here we are. So now I'm wondering, did we all see the same headline that Veronica saw and just forgot about it? Or did she completely make this up? Because they're kind of acting like she made it up.
What it felt like to me was that this was something that Veronica had leaked to a publication, and then she saw this headline come out and she was like, well, there it is. And then she was running with it. So then it's like, was this a rumor that you started and then you immediately start spreading? Because that's what Micah's voicing as his frustration. Any sort of bad stuff that Veronica hears about the Plath family. She's very quick to repeat that without checking or validating, is this even true? Because then that's where the accusations of being a liar or spreading rumors about people, you're not really disproving that when you just jump on board with stuff and you just start saying things.
She's a big gossip.
I think so. Yeah.
Which, hey, girl.
I mean, yeah, like that's not...
I'm not judging that.
No, yeah, that's not to say... But I mean, to a point where it's like, yeah, sometimes you hear stuff and it's like, is that true? Like, let's get eyes on it. You know, like, let's validate.
She immediately took it as being totally, completely true.
She is
as a fact.
War with the Plaths. Teegan is in alignment with the Plaths, so she's at war with Teegan. So this is a bad thing about Teegan that's coming out. That's good news.
Give
for
it
Veronica.
Life.
Yeah,
breathe
so
life into it.
Send that around.
Yeah, I do think that was probably good news to her because it would give a reason for the rest of the family to dislike someone more than they dislike her.
That might be an interesting way to see it, is she's trying to find a new scapegoat, somebody who's a bigger fuck up in this family than her by the Plaths standards right now. Because it seems like everybody's pretty much in alignment on Veronica is bad news bears, bottom of the barrel for the Plath family.
Yeah, the more I think about it, it would be a really big win for her because also it would be a way for her to point out, you guys don't have the best judge of character because here's a person that you really like. And meanwhile, there's nude pictures of them online that they're getting paid for.
And again, not to say that doesn't speak to anyone's character necessarily either.
I mean, clearly she looked at it oh, this is a skeleton in Teegan's closet that nobody knows about.
Right. And then if you're going to put Teegan on the pedestal of being this great person, look, this is this whole other side that you guys would harshly judge for, probably. Even though, I don't know, I think they might just let it slide. It's the new version 2.0, Kim and Barry.
No, there's no way Lydia would invite someone on OF to her wedding.
I mean, Lydia would look down on it, for sure. Like, there would be judgment, but she would still...
Mama Plath would ask for instructions on how to make her own page.
She would want a cut of whatever she's bringing in.
Plath's going to pimp her out?
Yeah, that's the angle here. And then Barry just wants links.
Oh, yeah. Well,
he doesn't care.
That's what Veronica's upset about because she thought that Micah's reaction was, let me see them titties.
Right, but instead he was trying to search for verification of,
You're saying this exists. Look, I'm on Micah's side with this. You just said something that is a crazy accusation that if it's true is going to be a very big deal. And so he started to look it up to see if it was true. Do you think he had the app on the phone?
Yeah, he just
the app on his phone.
He already had it pulled up. It was ready to go.
He was like, I subscribe to so many pages, but I don't think I subscribe to hers.
She definitely doesn't have one because if she did, I would have been in there so quick. So Micah knows for sure this is not true. But now he has to go ahead and verify that, no, this is false information. I'm not able to find that. Did he say he reached out to Ethan too? I don't know if that was something that was confirmed or...
He immediately called Ethan.
Yeah.
Which maybe you should wait a little bit. Like, this is another problem that I'm seeing happen with Micah repeatedly because he found out that Veronica had been talking to Olivia. And maybe instead of working that out between you and Veronica, he ran to Ethan and told him immediately, like the next day, that had happened.
Because if it involves Olivia, it involves Ethan. I don't think we need to have... Yeah, we don't need to have that pairing anymore as far as the cross information would go.
And like, that's a great example of things you can't take back. So if we're going to get on Veronica for saying hurtful things that can't be taken back, it's the same thing where when you run to a friend or a family member and tell them something bad about your partner, it's very hard to then walk that back when you decide to stay with that person, which is a lesson almost every teenage girl has to learn for themselves. But Micah has been shielded from that world. So this is his first experience with these types of things.
His first teenage girlfriend. Because I don't know what the mental age is that we're seeing of Veronica here, but It is probably teen girl, mean girl.
Oh, can I tell you, that's a child.
Yeah.
That was like a preteen girl that was in that room.
Uh-huh.
I do believe her when she says that she has a lot of trauma from having been bullied as she was growing up.
Oh, yeah.
I think if you maybe have never done trauma therapy, you're going to think what you saw on your screen was very weird. She was so immature, not in an immature way that we've seen her be before, though. It was like infantile.
And then there's a lot of blame that she's casting too about how it's not her doing this. It's because she's reacting to how the Plaths are treating her. So this isn't her doing. This is the Plaths that are making her act like this because they assume she is this evil, chaotic person who just loves drama. And so she's saying, okay, if that's what you think of me, that's what you're going to get. So when she's talking about matching energy as far as what the Plaths are bringing to the table, and then they start arguing about the golden rule of treating other people the way you want to be treated.
She was wrong, correct? That the golden rule is the 10 Commandments. Okay, that's the moment.
No, that was Micah's saying. Micah was saying.
He said that?
I thought he agree.
They couldn't agree on what the golden rule is.
Because she said, treat other people the way you want to be treated. And then Micah was trying to correct her that, no, it's part of the 10 Commandments. I don't remember what it was. I didn't write down the quote.
I don't know. I guess it wasn't that important because...
It's semantics at that point. You're arguing about stuff that you don't need to be arguing about necessarily.
But what she said and the face, the expression she made and the way she said it almost scared me. Because it wasn't the Veronica that we have seen on our screen up to this point.
Well, this is where the therapist was jumping in because she was letting us know this is a Veronica's that she's seen before. It seemed like she was very familiar with this side of Veronica.
This is how most of their therapy sessions are spent.
And the interesting insight here that I jotted down was that there's like this addiction to acceptance. And then if there's anything less than acceptance, it is perceived as full-on rejection. So that's part of that trauma that Veronica's still carrying, and where she's getting triggered on these interactions with the Plaths is where if there is a backhanded comment or if there is something that's left unsaid or unaddressed, then she feels like they're attacking her. They're ganging up on her. So she's ultra sensitive coming into this sort of system and then trying to participate. And she is not equipped for any of that.
So she's kind of like the worst personality to be put into this family system then, right?
It's extremely volatile.
Because I do feel to a certain extent that they are doing those things to her. Because that is their way of communication.
Well, and now it's completely out in the open where, guess what? The general consensus is nobody likes you, Veronica. So now that is your biggest fear. And now she has to turn around and say, well, I don't need your approval anyway. And then really try to go scorched earth with all these people simultaneously, which that just continually burns the bridge with Micah. And it just becomes this whole complicated cycle where she likes Micah, but she doesn't like his family. Micah's still trying to appease everyone because that's the Plath challenge, is to figure out how you can accommodate every single person and not address your own needs.
So her fear coming out of this situation is that Micah is going to sleep with Teegan now? That he's physically attracted to Teegan?
Well, I think that's just an easy, like, recent thing that she can go to as far as, like, this is why I can't trust you.
I feel like it's a reach and it's being done on purpose to bring the cheating up again.
Yeah, like it's a way to, you can't forget about this because this is always on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something that you need to be aware of too. So anytime you're telling someone in couples therapy, you're never allowed to see this person, I forbid it. Like that's probably not a good conversation that's happening.
And it's obviously unrealistic because this wedding is coming up, which she knows. And that's going to be the next immediate place where they're going to have to interact with Teegan. And how are you going to say to Micah, I don't want to go to the wedding because your family hates me, but also you can't go to the wedding alone because I don't trust that you're not going to try to pull something with Teegan because you're a cheater.
I didn't like Micah's defense, though, when he was like trying to explain why Teegan is completely off limits because that's his brother's girlfriend. And it's like, it should have been that you are in a committed relationship with Veronica.
That you've learned your lesson from the last time that you cheated and hurt Veronica. And so you would never go down that path again. But instead it was like, no, this specific person,
listen,
I would never do that with.
I would never betray Ethan like that.
Like I did you.
I'll betray you like that.
But do you see, those are the things that I believe that she zeroes in on when he speaks. And that is why she is continuing to get more and more enraged as time goes on.
Well, and then the less patience that she has with him, then the more disdain she has for him. And then the more she tries to take out those negative feelings that she has and lashes out against him. So then she's saying all these horrible things about his family. She's trying to hurt him. And then that's what the therapist is asking. Then why are you here still? Like, why are you doing this? Because, like, if your intention is to just hurt each other,
what am I doing here?
What are you doing? Like, that's not, because then Veronica's trying to say, well, I love him. I just don't love the family and the circumstances that we found ourselves in.
I don't know. I kind of think it's like a sunk cost fallacy at this point for her, where she put all this time and energy into this relationship. They've been working on this house together. She wants it to work out to some extent. He's hot, but their relationship has never been good.
No, like we've called that out before, where they always thought it was playful banter amongst them. And I was like, no, this is bickering. And that's different.
It was the ground level of disdain, where that has just built over time with the more things that have been done to one another. And the way they speak to each other, which I don't think we really see it so much from Micah, the outward nastiness, but the way he treats her in other ways.
Oh, yeah.
Like all of those things, this is a doomed relationship.
It was from the start.
I'm just wondering when the therapist is going to get to that part of things, because kind of wasting time in therapy together if this is the best we can get out of the two of them.
Yeah, it's a good thing they weren't with Dr. Orna, because, Dr. Orna wouldn't need to be saying, say more to Veronica. It would be, say less, don't say that stuff when you have that impulse, because it's an impulse control thing then, too, at that point. Just because you think of something really mean and nasty that can cut doesn't mean that you need to say that out loud in that exact moment.
Yeah. It's got to be a defense mechanism that she has, that when somebody offends her in some way, she decides that she's going to go hurt them 10 times more, so that hopefully in the future they think twice before they do something to hurt her again.
Yeah, and I mean, people were theorizing online. They were like, oh, it seemed like Veronica, she was probably a mean girl in high school. I don't think Veronica had a good time in high school.
No.
I mean,
well, maybe by high school, she turned things around and became like more of a bully herself. But this is somebody who has a lot of internal hurt about the way that they've been treated by other people and rejected by other people. So I do think that she experienced a lot of negativity and bullying from other people growing up. But that's still not an excuse to be a shitty person to other people now.
Right, yeah, because it's the hurt people, but that's not an excuse. Shouldn't be an excuse, because some people do use it as an excuse. And it seems like Veronica is kind of leaning into that right now, because there is that defense that goes up where she doesn't let anybody in. She's just on the attack. And then that seems to be the way that it's going. She was not in any mood, even when they reached the end of the session. It was kind of just like,
She just left.
She got up and left pretty quick.
She didn't say thank you. She didn't say, when are we meeting again? She didn't grab a tissue. She didn't even look the therapist in the eye. Just got up and left. I wonder if she'll go back. Think she'll break up with the therapist after this because she didn't like the way that session went?
Well, usually I end up scheduling my next session at the end of my sessions because I don't have like a standing time and day or whatever. So like that was weird for me too, to just see people just like leave like that. without scheduling the next session. Threw me off.
Telling you that's because she's not going back. Well, we have other things going on. We have the fascist four, as I'm now calling them.
Oh.
We got Isaac, Caitlin, Ethan, and Teegan hanging out for a little barbecue night. That the point of it is,
call it that,
I guess, to prove to us that look how well we all get together because we're the four non-problematic people on this show, and everyone else.
That's a stretch.
Is the problem.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I guess that's the intention, but it's kind of just self-fulfilling prophecy because then they're all just getting together and then just like shitting on how horrible Veronica is. Yeah, you all have the scapegoat. The scapegoat has been assigned. If it wasn't Veronica that you'd be complaining about, it'd be Olivia. If it wasn't Olivia, it'd be Mariah. It just depends on who it's going to be, of who's the problem. So then that way you can pin everything on that individual person. And right now, unfortunately, it's Veronica's turn.
That's the problem that I have with this family, because no matter what point in time you go to, there's a person who was on the outs with them.
Who is the reason for all of the problems in the family. Not just a few things, not just one incident that took place. For every single thing and every single relationship in the family, it's their fault.
Yeah, there's no pattern recognition among any of these people.
No.
I mean, those should be red flags for Teegan and Caitlin, but...
Well, the red flag here is how much lighter fluid they are squirting onto the charcoal briquettes.
Was the excuse for this that Barry had a propane grill, which he didn't really use because they cooked inside because that's women's work to cook? That's my expectation. That's why Barry never lifted a finger to grill anything.
Well, you shouldn't bring a propane grill inside either. Yeah, that should be outside. You need the proper aeration for that and ventilation.
So they never learned how to use one.
But they didn't have, they don't have a propane one. They were going charcoal. Charcoal's very different from propane in terms of grilling, because grilling, you just kind of turn on a propane grill and it's just there. And charcoal, with the amount of lighter fluid that they doused on this thing, you have to let that burn off.
Why did they put so much on there?
You don't need that much. One, it's just they like fire. They are pyromaniacs, or hermaphrodites, as Dina would say on Jersey Shore.
That's such a good episode. You guys, please don't be offended. That is a direct quote from Dina of Jersey Shore.
That is literally, yeah. Because that was the same thing when they went camping on Jersey Shore.
The lighter fluid,
fluid.
Got to take that away from people.
Too much stuff. That's not how you start a fire with wood either. Fire safety. It's a big thing. You got to know what you're getting into here.
I'm worried that there is lighter fluid lying around because I'm worried Ethan might pick some up and throw it in the car for prep day at the farm for the wedding.
Yeah, pretty much. It could be a thing. But man, to cook on that, as soon as I saw how much they were spraying on there, I was like, whoa.
The food's going to taste terrible.
That's going to be awful. Yeah, really bad. What are these interactions with Teegan and Caitlin, though? Because then they're in the kitchen and they're basically, it's just the poo-pooing of Veronica. So that's what they're bonding over.
They have nothing else to talk about because they have no original thoughts.
Do they not see?
None between the two of them.
Yeah, like they just have to echo the concerns of Ethan and Isaac and mirror them back at each other. There's just so much NPC energy from this group where it's just like background character, everything's out of focus. Like there's no drive, original thought, no anything. It's just blank.
Even her response to the accusation about the OF page lacked any real emotion. And maybe that's just because they already collectively as a group feel Veronica's a liar. So it wasn't a surprise that she would come out of left field with something like that.
Wasn't as, like they were kind of expecting that. Because that's what they were saying was it seemed like their interactions with Veronica, the gauge that they got of her was that she was kind of like fishing for allies.
Or trying to start shit.
Yeah, because it was like
stirring the pot.
Do you want to, do you have any problems with anybody in the family? And it was like, no, everybody seems nice. Oh, okay, never mind. Like Veronica would lose interest in them if they didn't have anything bad to say about anybody, which honestly, same. I can't judge for that either because if your assessment of the Plath family is that everyone's an upstanding citizen, I would be disappointed in your character judgment as well.
Some blind spots, if you will.
Yeah, you might
character
be missing.
type issues.
But I thought the accusation being a confession part was when Teegan was saying it's very fan-like behavior for Veronica to accuse me of this.
That was weird, given what we know about, was it her aunt or grandma or something writing on Facebook about how she was about to have her reality show debut? That raised alarms for you as well, huh?
Yeah, it
was weird.
Interesting choice of words for
also,
me.
it was giving Mean Girls. Why is she so obsessed with me?
I don't think it's possible to be obsessed with Teegan because I can't tell you any defining characteristics about her aside from the
She's
clothes.
Got big boobs.
She's got big boobs. She has bell-bottom leggings. So it's like the same issues that you would have with like substance of character, severely lacking.
Then I guess we can't really make a judgment on whether we think the OF rumor is true or not, because there's not a whole lot to go off of when it comes to her.
I haven't seen the links, so it's not real to me.
Receipts, proof, timeline.
That's what we need here, right? I mean, if you're going to make that claim and you're going to publish that, you better share the link.
You got to have your ducks in a row.
Come on now. Because nobody has a private OF where it's, I'm going to disable this secretly so that you can't see what it is. No, that's the whole point. So it would be out there if it was out there. Now, does that mean that she might have some tasteful nudes here and there where she does not share her face on the OF? Perhaps.
Oh, maybe that's the workaround.
Can't say definitively if that's the case.
Okay, I kind of felt like it was confirmation, though, when they did this painting activity where they all sat down and painted their partner.
After they choked down their lighter fluid steaks.
Okay, is that like carcinogenic now? I would assume that you should just throw that out.
If it tastes like lighter fluid, it's because you are eating lighter fluid. Yeah, that's what's going on.
So gross.
So you might as well just do a couple shots of that while you're at it.
They should have gone to Taco Bell. Is there a Taco Bell in Cairo, Georgia? I don't know.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Mama Plath did not have art classes as part of their homeschooling curriculum, so this is kind of the first time that Ethan and Isaac have delved into the world of original artwork.
You're telling me that Mama Plath never held a foot claw drawing session for them? You remember that thing from season 1 when she drew that up on the board?
I mean, it explains it's not one of her strengths, so not something that she made sure to design a class around. If they were going to have any artistic expression, it was limited to playing the instruments that Mama Plath assigned to them for the family band so that she could then shop them around to local churches.
Yes, of course. Profit off of it financially, so to speak. Yeah, not a lot of artists here. Not a lot of art skills at the table that we were able to see.
The canvases were so small, though.
They were, and then they only took 10 minutes. They were doing 10 minutes, which, I'm sorry, that's not enough time. I wouldn't be able to paint something that quick.
I couldn't even mix the colors that quickly.
That's what I'm saying. Bob Ross was doing crazy paintings in 30 minutes, but I'm not Bob Ross.
No, nobody at the table really did that well. Ethan's was just black and white.
Yeah, he went with the monochrome. And then he also did, it was interesting too with the framing size that he selected also. Very teeny tiny because he had the whole canvas to work with, but a lot of negative space. That was what he was going with there.
Maybe we need these to be interpreted by a therapist or something. Did he have like a feather boa on her?
On whore?
On whore.
Oh, no.
Well, that's a spoiler because it was a nude painting of Teegan.
She was guns out. Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly what I saw, but I thought it was maybe like a 1940s kind of Hollywood starlet.
One of Barry's robes.
Type. Correct. One of Barry's robes.
Just how I like her. Topless and wearing one of my dad's robes. Wait a minute. Did she even have a face?
not memorable. Not to him either.
Not memorable. Yeah, it's a blur.
It's just the body. Body, yaddy, yaddy. That's all he's thinking about.
It's like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, where it's like one of those like half erased memories where everything's just really messed up. It's all smudged.
It doesn't get much better when we check out the other Plath brothers painting, because he has somehow merged Kaylin's face with that of a pig.
The Kaylin face was horrifying. There was something like...
You know why? Because it was very cartoon-esque.
Okay.
Like, it was a little friendly looking, but then the more you looked...
But also, like, shell-shocked. It was like the the World War...
It was a surprised pig.
Veteran, like, in the foxhole, in the trenches, like, kind of reaction that was going on there. Ethan came out looking a little Osama bin Laden, if we're being honest.
There was a poor choice when it came to the hair color for kind of both of them.
Well, yeah, because then you didn't have Isaac with a hat either, which that's like 90% of his character right now.
The hat, she didn't have time for.
Plus, that's camo. I'm going to have to paint camo
Too
on a
complex.
print there. I'm not doing that.
It was kind of like a 50-year-old lesbian, wasn't it?
A little bit.
But this was just such a good time, spending time with family on the old farm in the South, that Ethan's thinking about packing things up and moving to Cairo. Can they even do that? That's something I've been wondering, because if he does continue this relationship with Teegan, Teegan has a daughter, and we haven't heard the story of the relationship with the baby daddy, or if there is one, or anything about him.
Well, I'm pretty sure it wasn't an immaculate conception. I'm pretty sure.
Well, that's unfortunate for Ethan then, because you have to figure out how you're going to pack up someone else's child and move them across the country. And that's not always an easy thing to do. So I wonder if that could be the demise of the relationship, because there's no way Ethan is settling for living somewhere other than Cairo again. I just don't see that in the cards for him.
He's got his heart set on Cairo for sure.
Ready for Boca?
Yeah, we've got Veronica trying to prepare for Lydia and Zac's arrival here.
You know what's funny? Her whole monologue that she gives here is basically what they asked her to do the day of the engagement, which is just kind of stuff down all of the problems that are upsetting you right now, because we're doing something else that you're going to need to be able to engage with other people during. So let's not focus on the issues that you have with Micah right now, because you have to entertain Lydia and Zac.
Yeah, and like, you like Lydia and Zac. They're nice.
So maybe that's the difference, is that she likes them, so she's willing to do that for them, but she wasn't willing to do it around the people that she feels like have rejected her, because she made a whole big deal of the fact that Lydia is so welcoming and loving and accepting, and how she's never felt like there's been any issue between her and Lydia.
Right. And Lydia is in like a different classification as far as like Micah and the Plath family. Like, Lydia is a separate distinction from that too. She's not lumped in with all these other horrible Plath people who Veronica hates now. Also, Veronica's kind of like on the come down from therapy and is like realizing I was kind of unhinged there.
I'm wondering if she's worried.
Like, not that she's trying to walk it back.
No, but I'm wondering if she's worried that if they go back to Barry's house and talk about things going really bad during their visit, that it's going to be the second bad report that comes out of a visit from their house, and she can't have it look like she's the problem. That, I mean, or is she worried about getting uninvited for the wedding because then she can't show up and cause drama?
I know she doesn't want to go. She has to keep saying that she doesn't want to go, even though she secretly wants to go.
She wants to go so badly.
She needs to go. I don't think she's after Barry's approval, though, in that way of worrying about the optics of if this goes well or if this doesn't go well. I don't think she's thinking about it at that level. I think it's just whatever she's in the mood for. When Ethan and Amber were here, she was out
in the mood to fight.
She was out for blood, man. Yeah, like she was not ready to just sit around and pretend like everything was cool, reminiscing about throwing rocks at cars or some shit. So it's
It was
like
cheese. Excuse me.
sorry,
It was slices of cheese.
Okay. Well, they did throw rocks at a car on camera. That was at Mariah's music video shoot. Remember that?
They dropped them over the balcony, right?
From the balcony.
Great.
So yeah, that's a real thing too.
Instead, she wants to give a house tour. She just wants to show off her new house. Is that maybe part of it? She's proud of it. They finally finished the work that they were doing and they've moved in.
Kind of. I mean, it seemed like there was still a lot going on in the yard.
There's some problem with the pipes now.
There's leaking that's happening with the plumbing. And so Micah has dug a trench under the house and he is now burrowing around under the house like a mole person.
We actually need someone to do that. So I don't know. How much do you think it cost? Oh, yeah, he probably didn't pay because this is his way of...
He's earning his keep.
He didn't get paid because this is how he's justifying living in Veronica's home.
Correct. Yeah. He didn't know where to send the invoice because it's his own address.
This was like a serious job.
This is a big deal. I mean, there's stuff. He's tearing up all sorts of things. Not wearing shoes. Didn't like that.
He wasn't wearing shoes?
Lydia wasn't wearing shoes.
Well, I believe that.
Zac wasn't wearing shoes. Micah wasn't wearing shoes. Yeah. So that was all. I
just curled my toes.
For me,
so grossed out by
personally, like whipping around shovels and stuff without shoes, I'm not a fan. Don't do that.
Okay, I'm not crawling into a hole that's been bored out from underneath the house if I don't have shoes on.
I'm starting to worry about sinkhole situation now with the amount of dirt.
You got to be worried.
That has been removed
in South Florida
from underneath this house. It's a 50-50 shot.
A wormhole is going to open up.
Yeah, be careful what you say, Veronica.
Be consumed by it. It's going to happen.
She is manifesting.
We got to watch out for that Florida man story.
Well, some of the dirt did get thrown back underneath when they tricked Zac into going under the house, and then Micah was joking that he was going to bury him alive under the house. So we did get some of the dirt put back in that moment.
Do you feel differently when Micah teases Zac from when Ethan... I'm going to put in quotes. Teases. Zac.
I think the one with Micah burying Zac was still like, okay, don't do that. You're like throwing dirt on someone who's under a house. It's a little Step Brothers where you're burying someone alive in the backyard.
I thought maybe one little toss of some of the dirt would have been funny. But he was trying to get as much in there as he possibly could before Zac started to climb back out.
And a difference of tossing dirt next to Zac or
on
jokingly saying, because you can do that joke in a way that doesn't make Zac feel physically in danger. Because you could say, Lydia, quick, give me that shovel. And then jokingly scoop some dirt and pretend like you're going to throw the dirt on Zac. That conveys the same level of joke. So here's my Comedy 101 special for this on the analysis, okay? That is a joke that has the same message, but it's delivered up to a point where then you're not actually putting that person physically involved in the bit, so to speak. Throwing dirt repeatedly on Zac while he's under the house, maybe not the best way to go about that for a funny ha-ha sort of moment.
That's a good point. It's kind of like proving maybe how Veronica feels about the family too, where they take things a step further than it needs to be, and it puts it into this area where it's more so bullying than it is just good-hearted teasing of one another.
Right. Yeah. Like over the line, you're kind of overstepping, crossing into a different territory here.
The tour of the house. I had feelings about the tile. I know Veronica said it's controversial, and I wanted to address it.
It's not working?
I don't love it. No. And I understand that it makes a lot of sense in the area that they're living in.
It looked like terracotta.
Yeah.
Or like it looked like outdoor.
Like terracotta tiles.
Yeah, but like it looked like an outdoor patio in a living room.
It's like maybe something to put near your front door or like a high traffic area, but it didn't feel like the entire house should be that tile. And overall, it just felt very sterile in there.
Well, it seemed like they took a couple walls out because they were saying, oh, this used to be 4 separate rooms. Now it's all one big open concept thing. I hope they didn't remove any load-bearing structures anywhere.
That thing's just going to get collapsed right into that sinkhole.
That's what I'm saying.
It's going to be making the job easier for it.
The more dirt you're taking out from underneath that house now, it's just quicker timeline for the whole thing to implode now.
Wasn't it weird when Lydia and Veronica stepped away and talked, and Veronica went out of her way to explain what a hard day it was for her on Lydia's proposal, but she overcame everything that was thrown at her to be there for Lydia because Lydia is a special person, unlike all of the other terrible Plath family members. Did I get the message wrong? Or
I think that was pretty much it. Yeah, that was how it was being conveyed pretty heavily too, because Lydia was kind of just laughing it off, but then also Lydia seemed to be upset about the verbiage that was being used, the way Veronica was talking about her family. Didn't mention that though, about, oh, well, that's kind of out of line, or, you know, I don't really like that. Like that's not brought up because that's too negative. Lydia doesn't want to counter what Veronica's saying, so she just kind of laughs and goes along with it. So then Veronica thinks, oh, Lydia's on my side because she's not going against this. She agrees with me. So maybe that's something that Veronica doesn't fully realize either, where it's like, just because Lydia's laughing and nodding, she doesn't agree with you though. She's just being polite.
And she has no ability to handle conflict of any sort. So that's her way to kind of bring the temperature down.
Yeah, we're not going to address this. We're not going to talk through it or bring up those big topics.
And Lydia's trying to say without outright saying, yeah, I hope there's no problems at my wedding. So hopefully you can figure out how you're going to be around everyone that day, because I'm not uninviting my family to my own wedding.
Yeah, and like be there for Lydia. So if you like Lydia, then be there to support Lydia. Support her, ignore the drama, respect the wedding. I think that was what Lydia was really trying to get the point across.
She also called bullshit on the fact that Veronica is acting like she loves Lydia so much and that's why she showed up the day of the proposal. Lydia's like, I don't know if I'm really a special person to her or if it's just that I'm the least problematic person for her. Meanwhile, we got Zac and Micah working on more random shit around this house.
I don't know what they were tearing up. There was like paver stones or like brick that was laid out there that Micah was just ripping up.
Maybe this is why she hasn't broken up with him yet, is because there's so much work to do around this house.
There's a lot of projects that are in progress currently.
She's got to wait for him to finish them so that she can finally break up with him.
That's why Micah is constantly breaking new ground on all these different things. He's like, please don't kick me out.
He sawed a hole in that pipe under the house.
Something happened, yeah. But for Micah and Zac, their conversation way less nuanced, I think. Or like it was just, oh, how's your relationship going? Well, you know, we have good days and bad days.
Well, because there's a lack of honesty, because that's also like not an area that Micah wants to talk about with anyone right now. Because the answer is it's going really bad. And it never feels good to talk to someone who has a relationship that's really good when yours is really bad.
Micah chalks that up to being in the honeymoon phase, but I don't think that him and Veronica ever had a honeymoon phase. I think they've always been bickering.
They always were trading jabs.
Yeah, this is not new, and it's not a change in something. That's always been there. That has been the basis and the foundation of your relationship.
We do get confirmation from Zac yet again that he's not upset about the question they asked when they cornered him and demanded to know whether or not he was gay because he didn't want to kiss their sister.
And hey, no hard feelings. Yeah, but like seriously, are you gay though?
He asked him
like
again.
One more time. One more? If there's no hard feelings about it, okay. I'm going to ask again then.
How did you feel about when they went inside and they decided to sit down for some espresso martinis?
First of all, that's your first mistake. Espresso martini, not recommended.
Like it's below deck.
I guess Veronica could be a good head
stew.
Yeah. Chief stew.
She would make all of the rest of the stews cry.
Yeah, constantly.
This is, I think, the origin of something Veronica said online about Lydia, basically implying that Lydia drinks and not just has a drink here or there, but can drink excessively. Didn't she say something about downing espresso martinis?
I thought it was margaritas.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
At the wedding.
I hope it's a margarita.
Might have been espresso martinis, but then
I don't believe there are margaritas at this wedding.
No. Because then to say that, if you were saying that as part of your post, and then you're the one who's giving her espresso martinis.
That voids everything you just said. Also, we saw her take a teeny sip of it.
That's good. Well, that's nice.
I would have expected some editing where there was just constant pouring of additional espresso martinis.
Yeah. A bunch of crossfades between several different sips. So then you don't even know how many drinks has Lydia had.
It was also the tamest game of Truth or Dare that I've ever seen. So I don't think that anyone had the extra bravery given to them by some alcohol.
I'm sorry. Lydia and Zac would be the lamest people to play Truth or Dare with.
Because they've done nothing.
What a horrible blunt rotation this is. Just an absolute nightmare.
The first thing they do Truth or Dare. The truth was about whether or not they've ever been drunk before. Or Zac, specifically.
That was Zac. Yeah, that was Zac's truth. And of course, he's never been drunk. Okay, do we want to talk about what else we've never done?
Maybe they were trying to ease him into that.
I think so.
Because the dare is for Lydia to kiss Zac.
Or take a shot. And so Lydia finds the loophole because she gives Zac a kiss on the cheek, so that fulfills her obligation to the dare.
They were obviously not going to kiss on the lips as part of the dare.
Well, you had to be more specific in the dare.
But I mean, they were going to do it anyway because they're saving it for their wedding day.
Yeah, so then she would have taken a shot. So that would have been a win.
Because are you going to trade the story of we saved our first kiss so that we can have it on our wedding day out of respect of Lydia's purity to we were drinking espresso martinis at Veronica's house.
And we slipped up. We backslid.
Thank you for somehow making that even more Christian. Micah does the worm. I think that was still Veronica trying to remind him that he's a spineless worm.
That was my take. That was my takeaway. Was that this was the spineless worm doing the worm. I don't know if Micah pieced that together, though. If that's just something fun that he likes to do and it's a cool party trick. And so...
maybe that inspired the insult.
I think so. Yeah. Is that not only are you a worm, you're a spineless worm. Very much so.
We know Veronica goes to the wedding, but at this point, she's playing the will I, won't I game.
It's the yeah, she's struggling with wedding day attendance, mainly on the basis of she can't trust Micah. If you can't trust this man to go and be around
to his own
other
sister's
people,
wedding,
to his own sister's wedding with family and other people there, then break up. I think that's the general consensus that everybody is agreeing on at this point who's watching the show. Veronica can't, though, just because of all of the projects that we've listed off here, too. Yeah, there's too many things in development right now. She cannot let him go.
I also do think that she enjoys a little bit of the drama and the chaos of it, and that she's kind of looking forward to seeing how they react when they don't know whether she's going to come to the wedding or not, because she's not going to make a decision until the last minute.
Okay, and here it is, too. She's out for her pound of flesh, because if they had the relationship that they had, Micah cheated on her multiple times, hurt her in these ways. She is now trying to return the favor. So she needs to go through this whole process of whatever it's going to be to torture Micah to get him back for the genuine stress and hurt that he put her through. I mean, she's made that clear even in the therapy session. That's kind of the game.
I think that that's maybe an added bonus, but that her goal is to make them feel as uncomfortable around her as they tried to make her feel at the proposal. It's tit for tat.
Yeah.
So that's how the proposal went. And so now she's going to show up to the wedding unexpected and make them all worry about how she's going to act.
So the preview for next episode, Micah ditches Veronica very quickly, even though she specifically asked him not to.
That would upset me.
And Uncle Buck rides again as Ethan almost has a Kim Plath moment running over people, guests at Lydia's wedding.
At the farm, man. I went back and watched that multiple times because I was sure that I saw people walking around the car.
Yeah, they were close.
They were not that far away.
Not that far.
And the speed that he drove was irresponsible. They need to take the driver's licenses away from everyone in the Plath family.
Those could have been people. Those could have been guests at Lydia's wedding. They were cones.
And I guess Kim and Isaac are planning to confront someone about making bad decisions.
Lydia.
They're trying to imply that they're going to go say something to Lydia at the last minute in the 11th hour before the wedding, which now's not really the time to raise those concerns.
Maybe Kim just needs to stick to her usual wedding day advice about which hole it should go in.
Well, I guess we'll see what wise words she has to share next week. Before we go, stick around. There's a lot coming up on the pod, and it's going to take us a minute to get through it.
Okay, yeah, we've got a few announcements. Where do we begin?
We're going to be continuing our recaps of Welcome to Plathville. Sounds like there's going to be 11 episodes, so we've got a few more to go here.
Taking us all the way through the end of September.
And then Seeking Sister Wife is going to be starting on September 22nd. And we will be recapping that here on Surviving Reality. Very excited for the return of the Merrifields.
We also have Real Housewives of Salt Lake City making its return September 16th. That's a Tuesday, so it's a new night.
Oh, thank you. I skipped over that one.
Well, we're kind of working our way back. That's going to be on the Patreon, so you can check that out over at patreon.com/survivingpod. It is included. It's open for everyone. So free members or paid members. These are going to be live reactions that are taking place after it airs on Tuesday nights.
Instead of a traditional recap, we're going to be doing an after party, if you will.
Yes.
So we can participate live with you in the comments. So just head over to Patreon and make sure you're signed up either as a member or join for free. And then you'll get the notifications when we go live on Tuesday nights. We have another podcast called Surviving Sister Wives, where we are going to be recapping Christine Brown's new book, Sister Wife, a Memoir.
I wish the cover art had been commissioned by Ethan Plath, so then we could have gotten the full Freaky Betch experience.
Maybe Cody can hire that painter that he commissioned the proposal, the engagement photo artwork from recently.
If you got time to lean, you've got time to clean.
That's something Robin Brown's never been told because she's never had a proper job.
No.
Also going on over on Surviving Sister Wives, Season 20 of Sister Wives returns September 28th. We'll be recapping every episode of that. We'll see how long it goes. The last season was very long.
Very long.
Don't know what to expect.
With a little break in between. So yeah, we'll have to figure out what's going on there. Also, don't forget, Special Forces. Cody Brown is going to be on that show on Fox.
September 25th.
Starting September 25th.
I'm liking how I keep skipping over the chronological order of things, and then you remember the other one.
We're working back. So we start with the later one, and then here's what's coming up. It's the next thing that you need to be aware of.
And those recaps will drop every Saturday.
Or something.
Over on Surviving Reality.
I don't know. It's a lot going on the schedule. It's going to depend on when things air. Hopefully nothing crosses over, but we've got schedules up. We'll keep you posted if anything changes.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.